So, now that we are back in, the only thing we have left to do... Well, I guess I could go for some of the side content, but I feel like I'll do that in a supplemental, like, cast if I'm ever like, oh, you guys, we have jack shit to do, so let's do this instead. That's probably what we're gonna end up just doing, but, yeah, so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna click this, we're gonna click this. I hope you guys can hear everything. And we're just gonna start the side stories. Now, I don't know if I should do part 1 and part 2, part 1, part 2, and I also don't know if I should just go down the line. I am gonna go down the line, just because this was the hardest one to get, so, meh. So let's go ahead and let's get into the side stories of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited! Ooh. Ooh. Music. New music. New music. New music. New CG! I've never seen this CG. I'm excited. Like, it's new, you guys, it's new! Also, oh, the music's really nice.
Okay, everyone. My controller decided it didn't want to work, so I guess I'm clicking today. The Literature Club is starting. Let's all have a seat and take attendance, okay? I miss debate club. I knew it'd be so difficult to start a new club. I feel worse with every day that passes without anyone coming in. I'm really starting to lose confidence.
Monica is the only member of the Literature Club. In the days that have passed, all of her efforts to recruit new members have been fruitless.
Am I going about this wrong?
Monica glances at one of her flyers. The headline is, "Do you like literature?"
Maybe no one is into literature enough to pick it over the other club interests. I can't just rely on people liking literature. I need to sell them on a vision. A vision. But what kind of vision?
Monica rests her head on her desk, deep in thought. But before she realizes it, the recent nights of staying up too late start to catch up to her. It's so quiet, and the noise of the air conditioner is soothing. Are we gonna, like, have a vision? Is that what's gonna happen?
Hello?
Oh god, that's so loud. Suddenly, a voice causes Monica to snap awake.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I never do this. Is this the napping club? No, this is...
Monica pauses, suddenly embarrassed to admit that this is, in fact, the Literature Club.
This is the Literature Club. Yay, I thought I got it wrong for a sec. I am super sorry. I was like so unprofessional of me to do that. Don't apologize. I do that all the time. Did I miss the club meeting? Where is everybody? Well, about that. This is everybody. Really? Just you? But we're getting more members. I'm working really hard on it. Hold on a sec. If it's just you, that means I get to be vice president. Wait, vice president? What are your qualifications? Well, I'm better at napping than you. Maybe I should be president. Now you're just making fun of me. Oh, I'm sorry. What was your name? Sayori. Okay, Sayori. I've been trying really, really hard on this club. I know you caught me at a weird time, but it's really disheartening to not be taken seriously. You know?
Okay, Monica, I love you, girl. I don't, actually, but this is not the way to get new members. You gotta butter them up. You gotta, like, get them in an entrapment. Maybe this is how Monica gets better at that, that portion of things. Like, I'm just saying, you know, I'm just throwing it out there.
I care so much about this. I just want to find other people who do too. Oh no. I'm so sorry. I do care, I promise. I have a hard time being serious, that's all. I didn't mean for it to hurt you. And I was joking about the vice president thing too. I would make a terrible vice president. I mean, I'm sure that...
Monica tries to say something reassuring, but it's difficult when she still doesn't know much about Sayori.
I'm sorry that this isn't like a real club yet. Would you still be interested in joining after I found a few more members at least? No, I want to join now. Really? Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Besides, I can tell how hard you've been working. You're doing something amazing, and you should be proud of it, you know? So let me help you turn something stressful into something fun. If nothing else, I'm good at that, so... Honestly, how could I possibly say no to that?
Sayori is just the best character. She is so... I love Sayori. Sayori's great.
That's really sweet of you, Sayori. Oh, I'm Monica, by the way. Monica. That's such a cool name. Oh, now you're just trying to cheer me up. But you're smiling. Well, I didn't say it didn't work.
Monica glances at the flyer on her desk and realizes that her name is already written on it.
So, what do we do first? Well, it's getting pretty late, isn't it? We can go home and try to come up with some new ideas to recruit club members. I can do that. Cool. And I think I need to put some more thought into my vision for the club. You know, like
a mission. Ninmus, I love those.
My mission is to make everyone happy. Yeah, something like that. I need to think about it. Hey, do you like hugs? I guess so?
Sayori suddenly pulls Monica into a friendly hug, then lets go.
Some people can just really use a hug sometimes. Besides,
Sayori whispers loudly,
hug energy is what keeps me at my best. Hug energy?
I love Sayori! I love her! I'm just gonna die. Monica laughs. Although Sayori is very different from her, Monica feels her spirits lifted. Maybe it's just because she finally found another club member, but...
Well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow then. It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited.
Hug energy, best energy. Ooh. I'm getting emotional already. I just seeing Sayori again. I'm just like, yay. I can't.
I'm gonna think really hard tonight about how to get more people. Yeah, me too.
A day passes and the time comes for the literature club, Monica and Sayori, to reconvene. As president, Monica ensures that she's the first to arrive to the club room, but she finds herself waiting longer than expected for Sayori.
It's been 10 minutes already. Maybe Sayori changed her mind about joining? No, that can't be. She was so excited yesterday. But I'm getting kind of worried.
Suddenly, Sayori comes bounding through the door. In her hand, she's holding a sheet of paper.
Sorry I'm late. I'm here. It's okay. Welcome back.
And Sayori spins over to Monica and deposits the sheet onto Monica's desk.
Oh, what's this?
Take my hand, take me forward, take me to your dreamland. Caution me to watch my step so I can't look back at my footprints. Climb the stairs ahead of me while I look up to you. The more I look forward, the more I look up, the more I can lend to you. If you can trust me to follow your pace, I'll trust you to set it. If you can trust me to lend you a smile, I'll trust you to return it. Take my hand, take me forward, take me to your dreamland. This is so... I just love this. This is literally just a cute and wholesome poem about want to be part of something bigger than yourself, and I just... It's so wholesome! Sayori is so wholesome! This is so sweet. She's literally like, come on, let's do great things together, Monica. I'll follow your lead. It's so cute.
Hey, this is really good. You wrote this, Sayori? Of course. Wait, no, that's the wrong side of the paper. Huh? I wasn't ready to share that yet. I'm so embarrassed.
Monica flips over the paper. Written on the other side is a list of ideas for recruiting new club members.
Oh, so that's what you meant to show me. But I'm curious, do you write poetry often? I do, but I'm sure I'm not anywhere near as good at it as you are. Really? I'm actually terrible at writing poetry. I've never written anything I was happy with. Like, I always read it again a week after I write it, and I'm like, Wow, this is stupid. I don't know. It's like the dramatic version of me doesn't agree with the person I want myself to be, or something like that. Aw, you should have more confidence in yourself. You're the literature club president. I guess you're not wrong there. I need to, set a good example or whatever. Oh, I can envision the club doing something like that. Doing what? Like sharing poems we write and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I would love that. It's a good way to learn about other people, It's like we have so many emotions that we can't express to other people usually. But you can write it in a poem, right? Yeah. I think that's helping me form a more cohesive vision for the club. So I'm glad you showed me. Well, even though it was by accident. Me too. I felt embarrassed at first, but now it feels kind of good that someone else read it. I'll try to show you more of them in the future. I'd love that. Oh geez, I'm getting distracted. Do you want to go over this recruitment brainstorm together?
Aww. We're gonna get to see Monica, we're gonna see Monica hinged instead of unhinged, like she usually is. My brain stormed so hard, it was like a brain hurricane. Why is Larry so cute? My brain is a natural disaster. Me too. Me too. Actually, me too, though. Sayori, me too.
Sayori, that's terrible. Anyway, let's take a look at the list. Make cupcakes. I was hungry. But it's a good idea, isn't it? Let me think about this. I mean, when would we have the chance to give people cupcakes? Like when they come into the club. What if we said that we have free cupcakes on the flyers? I'm kind of worried that would bring in the wrong kinds of people, Wrong kinds? People would just come for the cupcakes and then leave. Aw, nobody would do that. That would be mean. But I want to find people who are really into literature, even if they don't know it yet. Let's see, the next thing on the list, hunt for people reading books. I don't think I get it. Like going around the school and finding people who are reading books, Like in the mornings or during lunch. And we tell them to check out the literature club. Well, the problem with that is wouldn't most people reading books just be doing it for an assignment or something?
Monica, stop being a pessimist. I get it now, though. I get why. Monica's like the pessimist / realist, whereas Sayori is the idealist and the positive one. So having somebody who is a realist to kind of keep you in check is usually good, but you do have to listen to somebody's ideas whenever they're the idea maker or the thinker.
How will we know if they're just reading for fun? Well, we could ask them, but then we'd be bothering people who are trying to do schoolwork. I didn't think about that part, I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. You're coming up with a lot more things than I can. Oh, your next idea is to hand out flyers rather than just put them on the wall. I'll definitely like to start doing that. I'm useful. I never said you weren't. I just need to think. What would we tell people when handing them out? I don't want to just be like, join the literature club. Let's figure out how we can better engage people. What if you told them about the club activities and stuff? What club activities?
We need club activities. It would probably be good for a club to actually have activities, like things they do.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be my job to come up with that, right? A vision for the club. Okay, Sayori, pretend you're a normal person. Pretend your brain wasn't a natural disaster for like 5 seconds, so that way I can bounce some stuff off of you.
Monica!
Wait, I didn't mean it like that. You know, like a random passerby who's getting a flyer. How would you react to the idea of the literature club? Probably like, literature's stupid. I'm joining the anime club.
It's literally the MC. It's the MC. It's the MC.
What the heck?
Sorry, I was just thinking of a friend of mine. She literally just shots fired the MC. Just threw her friend under the bus.
Okay, what if I said that we like do group reading and discuss it together? I would probably nap through that. That's you, Sayori. Yeah, but that doesn't really sound fun to most people anyway. We need to really catch their interest, you know? This sucks. Why is this so hard? Monica, don't be sad. What do you like about literature, Sayori? Me? Well, kind of what I said about the poem earlier. I think it gives you the chance to express yourself. Like, express yourself in ways that you can't normally do when you're just doing your normal day and talking to your friends. I mean, we all have so many thoughts and feelings that we just don't get to share, you know? It's like intimate. Yeah. How do we get that across to people? We could be like, express your true self. Be intimate with us. So, maybe we should leave the catchphrases to Monica. I don't know about that one, Sayori. Like, we're making a literature club, not an OnlyFans. Just saying. Okay, that's kind of... I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. What is it?
I forgot all my things in my classroom. I must have gotten too excited and rushed here. Silly me.
Rushed? But weren't... never mind. Do you want to go get your stuff then? I'll forget if I don't do it now. Well, I'll wait for you then. Okay, it'll only take 1 second.
Sorry, dashes out of the room, leaving Monica momentarily alone. Monica sighs and starts jotting her thoughts on a sheet of paper.
Express yourself. Be who you want to be. Make new friends. Discover a new you. Discover your heart. No. Write your heart out. No. Write into your heart. Write the way into your heart.
This is literally the Doki Doki song.
Join the literature club. Write the way into your heart. Wow, that's lame. Monica! You startled me. Sorry. But it's something important. On my way to the classroom, there was a girl reading a book. Reading a book? Let's hurry and recruit her. Wait, are you sure she's not just doing homework? I could tell she was really into it. Well, I guess we could take a look.
Monica grabs one of her flyers and stands up from her desk. Then the two depart the classroom with Sayori leading the way.
This way. You don't have to run.
Sayori leads Monica over to a particular classroom, then lowers her voice to a whisper.
See in there.
Monica peers through the window. Sure enough, there's a girl sitting alone, intently reading a book.
I feel like a creep doing this. You should go inside and talk to her. Me? You're the president. And I would probably scare her away. Okay, fine. I'll do it.
Monica takes a deep breath, then timidly enters the classroom.
That was fast. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Why, what happened? Well, I entered the classroom and she didn't even look up from her book. So I kind of just left the flyer on her desk and walked out. Aw, that's kind of cute. But I'm sure she'll see it and want to join the club. I hope so. Shall we head back now?
The two head back to the club room, Sayori feeling rather accomplished, and Monica still feeling a bit embarrassed by the encounter. Upon returning, Monica and Sayori resume their strategy meeting. They discuss various different kinds of recruitment tactics from professional to silly. After going through Sayori's list, and with Monica coming up with ideas on her own, the two end up in a better spot than from where they began.
Well, I would say that was pretty productive, wasn't it? Yeah.
I love it. Honestly, I really love the dynamic of, like, because everybody always feels like they, like, in writing, everybody always feels like the two main characters have, like, one has to be, like, super expressive and one has to be super reserved, or, like, they have to have, like, two very clashing personality types. Sayori and Monica, like, are really, really interesting archetypes to have together, just because, yeah, one's more of a realist and one's more of, an idealist. But otherwise, they both kind of have, like, intersections in their personality, which is something that I really like to see. Because at the end of the day, the best of friends do have intersections in their personality. That's just, like, a thing. Like, I know, like, not every friendship is like Bakugo and Deku's, okay? So, this is really nice to see.
I think we're starting to make progress. I can't wait to get some new members. Hey, what's this?
Sayori peers at the sheet of paper Monica was jotting on earlier.
Oh, don't mind that. I was just thinking to myself, join the literature club. Right the way into your heart. That's so cute. I thought it was a little overdramatic. But
Sayori pauses and thinks for a moment.
You know, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. What do you mean? Like, I don't know, I feel like I can tell from talking to you today. Seems like you are always afraid of doing something wrong. Yeah, but would you call yourself a perfectionist? Yeah, I definitely am. I mean, I always have an idea in my head of how I want things to go. And it's like, I can't accept anything less than that.
It took me a really, really long time to kick that, too. I feel like just as I got older, I was like, if I, like, worry about every little thing, I just won't get shit done, so.
But I think in the end, it helps me try my hardest at everything. So I don't think it's that bad. Like with this club, we have such an opportunity to make it into exactly how we envision it. But it feels like we only have one shot at it. So I'm just really afraid of it deviating from that. The vision.
What's the vision?
It's...
Monica pauses to think, then shakes her head to herself. She sighs.
I don't know. I just want everyone to...
Monica trails off. Smiling, Sayori taps her finger against the sheet of paper. Right the way into your heart.
I think what you're trying to do is to make the club that you need the most out of everyone. Out of anyone. Well, you're the one who knows yourself best, of course. But I'm here to help you.
Monica returns Sayori's smile.
It's sort of amazing how kind you are. We're really gonna make this the best club ever.
Sayori nods and the two remain silent for a moment, lost in thought. The only sound is the steady whisper of the air conditioner, and the only movement is the afternoon sunlight trickling its way in and out of the moving clouds. Sayori breaks the moment with a big yawn.
Time to go home?
You tell me, you're the president.
In that case, today's meeting is officially over. I look forward to tomorrow. Me too.
Sayori beams and grabs her things.
You can go on ahead. I need a few minutes still. Oh, I can wait. That's alright. I just want some alone time. Oh, in that case...
Sayori waves enthusiastically at Monica.
Good luck.
Monica smiles and waves in return as Sayori spins her way out of the club room. All alone, she sighs to herself and takes a minute to zone out. She wasn't prepared for the self-reflection encouraged by Sayori, but she decides it was something she probably needed right about now.
The club that I need the most. I don't get it. I just wanted to start a club with more passion. Something that I could use to help lead people to happiness. Literature is the key to that, because it's the window to the real person inside of us.
See, with how the actual Doki Doki Literature Club game goes, I don't know if the real person inside of you is, like, something you should personally be exploring, Monica. That's just my 2 cents on it. You might want to just keep that inside. just a thought.
Underneath the person who's forced to always smile and blend in, the person who's forced to be perfect. Huh?
Monica suddenly notices a folder on the floor by her desk.
Did Sayori leave this behind? I hope it doesn't have her homework in it.
Worried, Monica opens the folder to check.
Poems.
It's a folder of poems. Become the flower. A feeling of joy is a flower plucked from the ground. The color, the scent, it's so pretty in my hair. Every day I pluck some flowers as though they grew just for me. A lifetime of peace and nourishment, yanked away in an instant. All for me, all for joy. I need more. I need more joy. I need more happy. Pluck, pluck, pluck every day. Pluck, 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 so pretty in my hair. Pluck, 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 you're going to die. And you too. Beneath my feet, a flower stands alone. It beckons to me. I twist the stem, freeing it from its clinging roots, caressing the final joyous moment between my fingers.
But to what ends? I look in every direction, and the field I stand in, the prosperous field, is a barren wasteland. The fruits of my labor, the carnage of my joy, and that's why I've decided I must become the flower.
Wow. Wow, this is like actually really symbolic. There are like several ways that you could take this. Like, it literally, as dark as it is, if I were to say like what I think this poem is about or how I took this poem, because at the end of the day, like, poems, especially poems where they don't tell you the meaning or the author doesn't tell you the meaning, are subjective. But like, obviously, like, the big metaphor here that I'm taking is like, well, when we die, we go into the ground and we basically nourish plants that like grow out of the ground, right? So it feels like what this poem is about is Sayori literally like grasping at like things that are going to give her temporary happiness until she can't do it anymore. And, you know, then when she goes into the ground, she's gonna become a flower, to put it extremely lightly. That's personally how I'm taking it. Like, I feel bad that I'm taking it so heavy, but when I read that, that's just how that spoke to me. So it's like, ooh. I hope you're doing well, Nighty, and that your visual novel work has been going great. Thank you so much. I've been working on it. We're taking a little bit of a hiatus because, well, Horror Month is like streaming every day for like 5 hours is a lot, but I'm getting the assets done. I'm redrawing a lot of them because I've just been improving a lot. I've been improving so much on my art. I feel like that's such a narcissistic thing to say. I'm getting so much better, but like my old drawing style, I guess, or my old pictures kind of don't match up with my current skill level or my current skill set now. So I've been redrawing a couple of assets as I go, but I'm really, really excited to just compile all of it together, and pretty soon I'll have all of the assets done, and I'll be having a programmer friend help me with it. So I'm really, really excited about that, and I'm glad that you are too.
What the? Wait, Sayori?
Oh. Ah, that was it. Oh. Also, I got another mail. Alright, character discrepancy. Having run the control simulation for a while, it's evident that certain character is missing from any mention or appearance. This makes me speculate that Monika's meddling is less clumsy than we think, because she would have had to manufacture this character herself as a way of forcing interaction between her and the user. Could that be why the character has such limited and dissonant personality traits, or am I reading too much into it? I'll open up an issue to start tracking info and observations on the anomaly of this character appearing. Ah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Oh my gosh, this makes me feel, oh my gosh, here we go. This is like the tinfoil hat theories. Oh my gosh, what if like the character was literally like somebody that Monika created so that way she could interact with the real world? Like, it wasn't initially a dating sim. I see this experiment is taking place in Alabama. Oof. Alright. And then we have side stories. Thank you to everyone who worked so hard on this control simulation. I can't imagine how tedious it must have been to so delicately hide Monika's elevated permissions from her without disrupting our connection to the VM. Just to clarify, all of the recordings labeled side stories are part of the control simulation, right? I'm noticing some details of the characters' lives here and there that differ a little bit from those in VM1, or even trivial ones. It's part of the butterfly effect from some of Monika's more fundamental changes, or is it a result of her just messing around with the other characters in VM1 as her own experiment, or for fun? So, I'm keeping track. We have what? Like 5 different universes in total, with 3 or 4 of them created and then destroyed by Monika, of course. It's funny because I keep wanting to speculate on which one is the real universe, but in reality, they all are, as real as ours anyway. Ours is anyway. Oof. Oof. They literally are creating a metaverse for this game. I cannot. Alright, well, it's time for us to continue with the second part of this. I'm super excited, but also, like, super, nervous. Sayori just speaks to me on a billion levels. Like, I love Sayori as a character. She's just so... She hits different. So let's go ahead and let's begin side story part 2. Another day Another day passes in a flash, and it's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monica should have come up with a plan for today's club tasks, she hasn't been able to shake her guilt and anxiety after reading Sayori's poem. I'm so stupid. How did I let myself be the center of attention? Sayori's going through these kinds of feelings, and I'm letting her comfort me instead of the other way around. What kind of club president does that? To be fair, you weren't privy to these emotions of hers, so you can't really beat yourself up for something you didn't know was happening to her. But it's nice that she feels like being considerate. This whole time, I didn't think to ask about her own feelings. And to be 10 out of 10, she probably wouldn't have told you, so... So much for that stupid vision. Sayori enters the clubroom with her usual smile, but upon seeing the downcast Monica, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monica, is everything okay? I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monica shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me that I'm trying to make the club that I need the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. Sayori responds quietly. What are you talking about? But as she says that, her face darkens. Through the silence, Sayori mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monica stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. I wasn't ready to share those. Now you're worrying about me. I don't want that. But why? We're friends, right? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here for you as much as you're here for me. My God. Another long moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. This is different. It wasn't just about you yesterday. It was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday. You didn't need to do this all of a sudden. I don't want it. I like happy. So... if you do this, then you're just being selfish. Monica massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. It's understandable that Sayori isn't ready to share certain things, but as unfair as it is for Monica to pry, it's also painful for Monica to force herself to ignore the needs of her friend. Yup. I'm sorry I looked. I disrespected your privacy. No, I don't blame you for looking. You would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah, Monica takes a deep breath. Okay, like, every single time they pause like that, I'm scared, like, it's gonna explode. Like, I feel like these stories are gonna be, like, sweet side stories, or, like, things where we can put our tinfoil hat on, but it's Monica, so I just... It's Monica, so I'm just like... Okay. I understand that you don't want me to worry, and I think I'll be able to put this aside so that we can move on. But can you promise me something? Promise you what? Monica pauses to collect her thoughts. This is the literature club. It's a place where people can express themselves in ways that life normally doesn't allow them to. That's the vision. In fact, it's our vision. Write that way into your heart, or whatever. So, I just want you to promise that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be here for you when you need it. I want us to be ourselves like that. Sayori smiles gently. I'll promise if you promise. Unable to help it, Monica returns Sayori's smile. I promise. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, want to teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about recruitment? It's fine. We have plenty of time for that. But right now, I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fill my end of the promise, you know?
There's no way I could say no to that. I just don't expect much.
So Sayori was the poetry person. Like, Sayori was the one who, like, wrote poems in the first place. I found that interesting because, like, yeah, Monica was the one that created the literature club. And then you had Natsuki, who was, like, super into manga, and then traditional literature was Yuri. And so I was wondering where the poetry element came in, because even if poetry is literature, like, nobody seemed to be, like, a super big writer, so Sayori was the writer. That's good to know. I was, like, genuinely curious how the hell Sayori ended up in a literature club. But this is nice. It's a nice bit of backstory. My kitty cat's being cute.
I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. That's fine. I think I just need, like, some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. Starting isn't hard. You kind of just need to write down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. I'm gonna have to fight your perfectionist mind on this one. You can just start by writing your feelings and see what kind of things it makes you think of. And then you can turn your feelings into a little story. You can get your feelings down first and then make it sound pretty later. It's not like building a railroad where you go from one end to another. It's more like a collage where you find all the things you want to put in and then you arrange them in a pretty way. At least that's how I do it. It's not like it's the only way. But it's a really good way to not get stuck right at the beginning. I understand. Yeah, I always get so caught up in how it sounds that I forget about what's actually important.
Monica pulls out a pen and paper to start writing on.
Stop being a perfectionist, you idiot. I'm just kidding.
Monica scribbles out, "You idiot," after she writes it down.
No, keep it. What? Why? Are you calling me an idiot? Of course not. But the point is that you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Be as dramatic as you want. But I was just, well, yeah.
Underneath the scribble, Monica writes, "You idiot." She stares at the paper. Her words stare back at her.
It's kind of funny how I wrote down what I'm mad at myself for, and then I did that exact thing anyway. This is really gonna take some getting used to. I believe in you. Thanks. I do too. Me, I mean. But also you, of course.
Monica continues the exercise, jotting down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quite a struggle to write without overthinking it, but after a while, with Sayori's guidance and encouragement, Monica's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all of her random thoughts. Monica looks up and down at her sheet.
Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it. But it's also kind of liberating. I can tell how hard you're trying. It makes me happy. I think you'll be good at writing poems. Don't give me too much credit. I have to try really, really hard at it. But I think it's something that I'll enjoy doing with you.
Sayori beams.
I'll stop here, but we still have time. I'll try to work on a new flyer for the club. I won't be so picky about the language. Yay, let's do it!
Monica and Sayori proceed with their work. With each passing day, the two of them become more confident in the club. Not simply from their recruitment planning, but from their vision, or for their vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does the essence of the literature club. Finally, they begin to truly feel like it's only a matter of time before they find more members. Ah, this is so wholesome. Now, if only the game was this wholesome. Actually, to be fair, if the game was this wholesome, I probably never would have played it, so. You know, it's just a whole thing. Another day passes. As usual, Monica is the first one to the club room. With her is a printout of the revised literature club flyer, complete with all the new ideas Monica and Sayori came up with.
If only this was the flyer we gave to that one reading girl the other day. So much more attractive than the old one. But the new catchphrase is featured clearly in the center of the flyer. Write the way into your heart. Surely common sense would say that one writes from the heart, not into the heart. But the message being delivered is that one can cause writing to discover themselves. Hopefully Monica and Sayori had thought that it would be enough to garner some curiosity from students. Why do I feel so tense looking at this?
Monica thinks back to the previous meeting when she performed the writing exercise.
Was I always this bad at expressing myself? How am I supposed to be president if I can't even demonstrate what the club is supposed to be about? The literature club is truly beginning to take form. But with that, the weight on Monica's shoulder only becomes heavier. Debate club was always about rigid structure, formulating airtight points and counterpoints, and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside. That's why Monica was so good at it. It existed entirely within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need to break through this mental wall. I need to break into the fourth wall.
She's gonna break that fourth wall, alright?
I need to learn to express myself. For real.
Monica pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She presses the tip of the pen firmly against the paper. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects around the tip of her pen.
The ink flows down into a dark puddle.
This is literally the lyrics to her song. Monica lifts her pen and stares at the little blotch. For some reason, she feels compelled to run her finger across it, and as she does so, the black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monica's canvas. Out of spite for herself, Monica presses her pen down once again, letting the ink collect. She creates a second smear on the paper.
Come on, Monica. Just move your hand.
Monica writes. This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain. Monica slides the paper away from her and puts her head down on the desk. The air conditioner seems louder today.
I'm here. Hi.
Monica hears Sayori approach the desk, then stops for a second, probably reading the piece of paper. Then she sits down at the adjacent desk.
Bad day? Uh-huh. Me too. You too? The new flyer looks so good. You've been working so hard. On the club, but also something else, I think. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's so hard to just be vulnerable.
Sayori takes a sheet of paper from Monica's desk. She writes something down, then stares at it for a while.
Can I trust you? Of course. You can trust me with anything.
Sayori gazes at Monica with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monica takes the paper from Sayori's desk and reads it. Ouch.
Sayori.
Oh my gosh, Sayori!
This is really, really hard for me.
Her voice shakes.
So if I can do it, then you can too. Because you're like 1,000,000 times better than me.
I'm gonna cry. I cannot. Oh my gosh. Like, jeez. My eyeliner. My eyeliner's gonna freaking just raccoon. I'm gonna end up with like just blotches all over my eyeballs is what I'm gonna end up with. Also, hey, Sleepy Sora. You came in at a time. My gosh. These girls giving me feels.
That's completely not true.
Sayori takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself.
That's something about me that I've never told anyone before. Even now, my head's like screaming at me to stop. Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of the promise yesterday.
I'm gonna actually cry. Like, fuck. Jesus. Who wrote this? They need like, what's the Oscars of literature? I finished the side stories before stream earlier today. I'm excited to see what you think. For real though. Like, like this is just the first one, and I'm like, geez, the writer of this is such good writing. Like, cause it's like actually like this just hits different.
I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's part of the reason I came to this club in the first place. This is the literature club. I trust you more than I'm scared.
That is, like, such a good line. Because, like, that's such a good line. Like, that's such a good line. I'm stealing that the next time someone asks me that. I trust you more than I'm scared. That is, like, who wrote this? They're amazing. That is such a good line. Oh my god. Please. I'm gonna die. This is so good. Like, I actually need a minute. Oof. Man, I was just sipping my coffee, now I'm just sucking it. Oh, I'm sucking down my drink. I cannot. At those words, Monica stands up. Sayori must have taken days to work up the courage for this. Were Monica's own futile but genuine efforts actually the push that Sayori needed? Sayori's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monica waits in gentle silence.
I have this problem where I get really upset when people worry too much about me.
Bitch, me too. I'm gonna die. This is so good. Like, it's just, this is so good. Like, I just, 10 out of 10. This is, like, so good. It's like, this is so good. I
can't control it. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you can just be happy instead?
Oh my god. I'm being read by a game. Oh, fuck.
So I never tell anyone about these kinds of thoughts I have. It's so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy.
Like, KO, fuck.
But that's
terrible. That's what Monica wants to say, but she stops herself in fear of saying the wrong thing.
It's just that if everyone knew about it, they wouldn't treat me the same anymore. Like, whenever I'm not smiling, everyone will worry about me and ask me what's wrong.
Like, Jesus, oh my gosh, Sayori's coming for the freaking heart. Sayori's coming for my heart. Sayori's making my heart go Doki Doki, but in a different way. Oh my god. We're like slowly inching through this. Hello, new phone came in today. Hey, Mist. Nighty's trying to keep it together. like, this is just so good. And I'm saying this literally from a writer's perspective. When characters can literally, like, make you, like, elicit emotions like this, it's so... And it's so accurate. And it's just like, I have no words. It's so accurate, and this is how you make me like characters. Oh my god. I need a minute. Like, I'm just... The best characters are the characters that you relate to. The characters, like, I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. I can't even talk. I can't even comment. It's so good. I hit the thing so hard that, like, a piece of like a splatter of coffee, like, went through the straw and hit me in the face. Thanks. Thanks, straw. Thanks. This is fine.
I know that because I used to be like that.
Sayori pauses, seeming to recall something in the past.
I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing to me. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness to anyone.
Sayori pauses again, her solemn expression making her look almost like an entirely different person.
How did you find the courage to tell me this? You're not worried that I'll be one of those people too? I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this. another part of me, I think, just felt like it would be different this time. Whenever we talk about what the club is supposed to mean, I kept feeling like it was right for me to do. Especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself too. It just made me feel like I could say it in confidence. And our friendship doesn't have to change. It's so silly. The club's only 2 people, but it already means this much to me.
Monica feels a tightening sensation in her heart, a feeling of connection as Sayori's emotions radiate between them.
Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayori. You're so strong and brave. I don't even compare.
Monica steps forward.
But if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy, if you'd like.
Wordlessly and without a smile, Sayori rests her forehead on Monica's shoulder and puts her face in her boobs. There's a tear in the curtain. Like that curtain needs a patch job. Through their contact, Monica can almost feel the torrent of thoughts swimming in Sayori's head. And in this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monica realizes that of all the days that have passed, this is the one where she really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. And Guri comes in. I got the flyer! She speaks softly.
You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You can say anything. I'll never judge you. I promise.
Sayori's breath begins to quiver. She takes several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to start speaking, to say the things she never once dared to say out loud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice. I'm so worthless. I'm worthless and everyone would be better off without... Oh my god, I'm gonna cry for Sayori. I can't. She suppresses a sob as a tear falls down her cheek. I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. I'm not good at anything, and it just feels like everyone just has to put up with me, and I hate it. I hate it. The more Sayori speaks, the more she fails to control her voice, falling victim to the overwhelming sadness clutching her throat and chest. The real horror of this game is going to be how much it's going to tear Nighty's feels apart. I don't want to have these thoughts. I want them to go away. I know I'm making you put up with me, and I just want to die. As soon as Sayori loses her composure, Monica becomes determined to keep her own. She only wants to be what Sayori needs right now, so she won't let any sadness show. Her voice comes through as soft and gentle.
This isn't putting up with you. It's just being your friend.
Monica offers a few words of comfort, but she knows Sayori said it herself, that the thoughts Sayori experiences are ones that don't belong. And Monica can't magically make them go away. The most she can do is help Sayori battle them, like any good friend would do.
You have so much value. To me and your other friends, too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you.
I have like a hole in my... Like, I've got like a knot in my throat. Shit.
I really, really mean that. You coming here was the best thing that could have happened. Even if we never got any other members, I would still be happy. That's what you brought here. You brought us a vision, and you also brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right?
Sayori doesn't respond, but Monica feels her gently nod. No more words are needed between them. The two share their embrace for a while longer, Monica letting Sayori take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her snuffles fully cease, Sayori lifts her head and wipes her eyes.
I guess I needed that. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me. But any other time, I'll make sure that things are the way they usually are.
This would touch me a little bit more if, you know, I didn't know that there was a reality where Monica literally knew that Sayori was depressed and, like, amplified that to try to make her unlikable to a guy, and, like, to the point where, like, yeah. But right now, this is kind of cute.
If that's what makes you happy. Mm-hmm. Thanks. You're the best. No, you are.
The two exchange smiles.
You know, I'm sorry to bring all of this up all of a sudden, but have you considered talking to a professional?
Sayori nods.
It's scary, since it's already so hard to tell people. Yeah. Well, of course, it'll always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find the courage for it, I can do my best to help you. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would.
Sayori suddenly yawns and stretches.
Wow, that made me tired and hungry. Well, I won't make you do any work today if you're not up for it. No, I want to. I mean, I can say that it's definitely one thing that makes me happy.
Monica smiles.
But I might want to get a snack first.
All of a sudden, the sound of the door causes the two of them to turn their heads. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. A face that seems familiar. Yay! Well, that was the first side story, you guys. Alright, but